Hey, rock fans and metalheads, this is Doro Pesch, and I hope you guys enjoy the show because we go to 11 and have a good time. Keep on rocking, stay metal, and lots of love.
Metal is good. Radio Amor.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Thanks so much for your time there, Doro. And I had the pleasure of speaking with you a couple months back when the album came out, and I had a mishap with Zoom the whole day. I had like two other interviews, all got zinged. So thankfully, I reached out to the publicist and they said, when we roll out some more interviews, we'll give you a second shot. So thank you, the publicist, and thank you, because it's always a pleasure speaking with you. But so now the record's been released. So what's your thoughts on the fan reaction? Because you stay pretty consistent with what you do and what you want the fans to hear. So this is pretty much a continuation of that. But tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are on the fan reaction of the record.
I think, man, it couldn't have been better. I'm super happy, but it's like really excited about the songs, about the record, about all the videos, and of course the icing on the cake. I think the two duets with Rob Halford.
Right.
That's some personal highlight. And it was in the charts. It was 2 weeks #1 in the US radio rock chart. And it hit the normal charts #5 in Germany. First was Taylor Swift, then Rolling Stones, then Rap Guy.
Right.
5, really good. And the fans, they seem to really love it a lot. And I think it's one of my best records. I know every musician always says that, but
sure.
I think in this totally true, and I'm totally pleased, happy, and grateful that Rob did these 2 songs with me. And so far it's doing really, really well, really well.
Well, and tell me a little bit about the video, because there's one video in particular where you went all out and you guys did this futuristic, like Mad Max type of thing, and that took a lot of creativity and effort, and that stuff isn't cheap, even in this day and age where people can shoot videos with like an iPhone or something.
Oh no, I wanted to. I'm probably old school. When we do something, I definitely want to do it right. And then the first single, Time for Justice, we picked it because it has a good message. And these people you see in the video, they call Wasteland Warriors, and I met them in big festival many years ago, and I always thought, man, let's do something together. And when we picked the single, then I called them up and I said, hey, you guys feel up to doing this video together? And I said, yes, absolutely. And then we got a nice video director. I think he was very cool, creative. And then we checked out the locations. And and they brought their cars and motorcycles from all over, the world. They're like a real international group of people who love that kind of Mad Max.
Nice. Yeah, it went along perfectly with the song, and I think just even with your stage gear that you wear, I mean, everything just kind of fell into place on that one. It's awesome. So, one of the things that you mentioned and that I had asked you previously was the Rob Halford, because you got an opportunity not once but twice to work with him on this particular record. So tell me a little bit about that, because he had a little something with the cover that made the record that he selected. Obviously, you tackled Judas Priest, Living After Midnight. Give us the rundown on both of those tunes.
I'd love to. Yeah, actually, last year we met at Hellfest in France. It's a big festival. It's like the size of. It's really cool. And we were hanging out backstage talking. And it was my very first big tour in 1986 with Judas Priest. I was a big Priest fan. It was unbelievable. And we always stayed friends. And we always met on, concerts and festivals. So last year we were talking, and then Rob Halford asked me what I'm doing. And I said, yeah, I'm just finishing the new album and it's my 40th anniversary coming up next year.
Mhm.
And we looked at each other and smiled. And I said, Rob, are you thinking the same? He said, yes, let's do something together. We're friends for such a long time. And I said, oh, this would make me so happy doing a duet on my new album. And then he said, do you have a song you would like to do? And I said, yes, Living After Midnight, because I was born and raised with the British Steel album of Priest. And I did one time a duet with Udo Dirkschneider for Breaking the Law.
Right, right.
For Midnight, I sang that many times in the early 80s when we were on tour with other bands. And then the last gig is always something you want to do something together. And, we either Breaking the Law or Living After Midnight. So I told Rob I would love to do Living After Midnight. He said, okay, great idea, let's do it. I'm totally, for it. And I have a song I wanted to do with you for a long time. I said, really? And I said, what is it? And then he said, Total Eclipse of the Heart. And I thought,
wow.
wow,
Yeah.
it's very, very unique and special. And I thought, oh, this could be cool, like the metal version of that song. And then we did both songs, and Total Eclipse of the Heart. It was the last song we recorded for this album, and we did a video for it as well. And it looks
Right.
all like cool, black
I mean,
leather.
it seems like you're going all out on videos. I mean, there's a handful of videos for this thing. And obviously, they all get some pretty good reaction from the fans. So that's got to be pretty gratifying, huh?
Did 5 videos for the out. Justice was Living After Midnight. You could see a little performance thing from doing the Monsters of Rock in Brazil, and it was a lyric video. And then the third one was Bond Unending, another
Right.
duet with the and you can see Wacken and stuff. And fourth, I think it was Children of the Dawn. It's one of my favorites. That's the reason why it made the first
Right.
cut on so much.
Yeah.
So I called the Wasteland Warriors again to do it together with the guys and girls. And and then the fifth video was Rob Halford, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Two
Right.
more videos. One is True Metal Maniacs. I want to release it around Christmas because it's like a thank you for the fans.
Mhm.
And it's I don't know, in America, I think I heard from many people they could just get the 15 songs, and in Europe you can get the digipack and it has 20 songs.
Oh,
And
geez.
True X is like on the bonus CD, and it's a cool song. It's real metal. It's it's for the fans and about the fans. And then we have another video and song in the making for the upcoming tour in March. We're starting February, March. It's Lean Mean Rock Machine, and that would be
Okay.
our first. And I saw the first 2 minutes, and it's hilarious. It's
Oh,
so
nice.
great. Yeah, it's really
Wow. So you're going all out with this one. I mean, it's almost a video for every song. It seems like that's awesome. That's a cool way because you have to do different things to promote albums these days, right? I mean, obviously you have to put a little bit more effort.
and the record took like 3 years to make, so I want to make sure that it's not just like like a couple of weeks in the charts and then it's on to the next thing. And I definitely want to tour, like
Right.
tour the world. We have a couple of festivals in the making already. I think we start in America, in Texas, the Hells Heroes Festival in Houston, and and then some more stuff is it's
Yeah.
in the making.
So this would be like, as you mentioned, 40th anniversary. As you've done in the past, you've released special concert package videos, DVDs, live albums, and stuff like that. I mean, I would assume there's probably something kind of in the works for this 40th anniversary. Man, it's crazy that it doesn't seem like it's been that long. I mean, I obviously haven't been there right from the beginning. I mean, I got on board in about 1986, but the band Warlock had already been in existence. I just happened to discover them right about then, but sure, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. What do you have in store? Can you share if there's anything in the works as far as for a 40th anniversary celebration package for the fans?
love to share that with you guys. And yeah, we did 2 big shows. One in Wacken, that was the big show, 2.5 hours. Many guests came up to sing and play with us. For example, Udo Dirk Schneider and Joey Belladonna and the two guys of Motorhead, Mickey D and Phil Campbell, played some Motorhead stuff and Ace of Spades. And then the Wacken people, they had a big surprise for us. There was a drone show in the air, and Lemmy's face was in the air, and he had
I remember. Yeah, nice.
smoking or blowing smoke. And yeah, now we had some more great guests, and we did like a big Wacken show. And then we did one show a couple of weeks ago in my former hometown, Düsseldorf, where everything started. Actually, I started in 1980 with my first band. There was Snakebite, the Attack, and then Warlock. And we were counting the years like from our first album, Burning the Witches, that came out 83, 84. So we celebrated big in Düsseldorf, and we had a bunch of great guests too, like Angela Gosso of Arch and Elisa White Glue of Arch Enemy. She came all the way from Canada, and Mille Petrosa of Creator, and Taya Turunen was there, the ex-singer of Nightwish, and many great guests. So I definitely want to put out a DVD and Blu-ray from these 2 shows. And then some people, they got me some footage when I was working with Lemmy like 20 years ago, because he came to my 20th, and somebody was filming all the the rehearsals and us having fun, and Udo Dirk Schneider was there as well, and we almost looked like babies. Everybody was like like having like round face. It looked so funny. So I will put some, besides these two shows, I want to put some special stuff on it, like for the diehard fans who would love to, like you can get a good idea how it is like backstage and in rehearsal. And Lemmy was so cool and funny. So it will be a big package, and maybe like a yearbook with all the pictures from all these 40 years. So we want to celebrate it big, like after this. Yeah. So
I was going to ask you, because I know you were talking about the North American dates, right? At this point, I mean, geez, you have Warlock catalog, you have Doro catalog, which is now a lot more than Warlock catalog. But, there's stuff you have to play. You have to perform. I mean, at this point, how long is the show? Because, I mean, I know the last time I saw you, actually, the last time I saw you was on a couple times on the Monsters of Rock tour, but everybody does about an hour. But the previous time when I saw you live, I mean, you're hovering at a little over a 2-hour set. I mean, that's nobody does that anymore, right? So is there a particular time frame? How many songs do you look at to get in the set? And how do you guys whittle it down? Because, I mean, there's probably stuff that you guys want to perform just because, you want it in there. And then there's obviously stuff that you want in there because the fans demand it.
Yeah, we always try to prepare everything, and it's really hard to make a set list because there are many old school metal fans. They love all the Warlock stuff, and there are many young fans. They don't even know about that stuff. Maybe they know about the Triumph and Agony, but they rarely know like about Hellbound or Burning the Witches or True Steel albums. So I play every show like according to the fans, and I let them choose and pick what they like. And if I feel they want to hear more anthems, then I play more anthems. If I feel they want to have like more speed metal or old school metal stuff, I play according to the fans. And usually, we actually play 2.5 to 3 hours. But in America, there's usually a strict curfew where you have to really cut it down to hours. That's tough. That's really tough. But I always try to play a different set list every night, that people don't get bored with it. Some people, they travel around, and see maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 shows. So it will be always a different set list. And then, for the encores, I always, let the fans decide. They call out songs they want to hear. And usually they call out songs which haven't even been released in America. For example, Love, one of their favorites. So we always have to play Love Me in Black or some other songs. And now for the new album, I definitely want to let the fans pick the choose. songs they love the most. And we already played Time for Justice and Children of the Dawn. So these two, we already know they work well, that was pretty cool. But all the other songs, yeah, I let the fans decide. And then we will prepare at least 50 songs where the band knows, like if somebody calls them out, we can play them. But it's tough to make it happen. So many records. It's like about 20 records. And of course, all the highlights you have to play, like All We Are and Immer and Burning the Witches, I Will Ruin. These songs we always want to have in the set, but that's definitely tough. But I always played according to the fans. And sometimes when we play a festival, when it's only 1 hour show time, then I usually stick, like to the highlights, like to songs which everybody knows and love, and like all killers, no fillers. But 1 hour is really tough. It's like 10 or 12 songs. Oh man, that's hard. But even in 1 hour, you can give it all you've got. Yeah, I always try to make the most of the situation. Like 1 hour is short, but it can be very effective too. So always every gig is different, and I always try to play every gig like it could be the first or it could be the last, and I never hold it back. And then especially in the festival setting where you are with many different bands or different styles of metal. Some people they maybe like more the death metal, or some people like more symphonic metal, and I love the whole spectrum, so I have no problem to play either heavier songs or more anthems, and but the
Nice.
guys in the oh god, when I call out different songs, they always think, oh no, oh no, she's calling out different songs, and I never stick to the set list, which I feel the fans deserve the best at this given moment, and the band they have to be flexible, so it's like
Right. So at this point, I'm assuming then they're probably used to you switching things up on them at this point, right?
they're used to it. Yeah, they're used to it. And for example, when we are in Europe or when we play in Germany, then I always make a little mixture between talking English and German. But sometimes when I do something in German, and everybody has to be really, really like on the toes to, oh, what is he saying? Oh, okay, now a German song, and then and our um, guitar players, they're usually playing keyboard as well. So they have to be quick to hop on the keyboard, and play, maybe the beginning or nice intro or a ballad. And yeah, but they are great guys. I love them so much, and we're a great unit. We're a great team, and yeah, and they know I want to make the audience happy. Even when we decide on a set list before it, I never stick to it.
Now, real quick, because I know a lot of folks that you looked up to, bands, Kiss just retired, Scorpions, threatened to retire, but then they were like, no, we like this too much. I'm assuming with yourself, I mean, I don't think that's even in your vocabulary, right? Any retirement of any sort.
Oh, never. I want to do it the Lemmy way, till the very last breath, till the very last day. And as long as people want to see us and hear us, so I will do it till the day I die, and hopefully I can die on stage, happy with everybody, with the whole metal family as my band. Yeah, so I want to do it as long as
Nice.
the
Well, that's the way to do it, I think. Do it until you can't do it anymore.
absolutely. And I feel now, I think I have more stamina now than in the beginning, because I didn't take care of myself. I was chain smoking and didn't eat thing, and now I know how to handle a 3 hour show easy. But in the beginning, the manager had to carry me off stage after 1 hour, and I was so exhausted, almost like passing out. And now I know how to put on a long show, and yeah, so the body is in good shape, and as long as you know, every
That's the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, you pace yourself, you take care of yourself, so you can. I mean, that's amazing. Like I said, the length of the set when you performed last, when I caught the show, I was like, wow, just keeps going.
to see the show in which city?
It was in Portland, Oregon. Now, I've seen you more times on the Monsters of Rock cruise than I have actually in concert, believe it or not. So it's kind of interesting that I've caught you a couple times on cruises, and then seen you, I think, 3 times live. The last one in Portland, Oregon, which has probably been close to like, I'd like to say it's been like 8 years, but it's probably hovering on like a decade.
Oh, yeah, it could be when time flies. I tell you it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully you will see us next year, and maybe another festival cruise, wherever, or gig.
Yeah,
I'm
that would be fantastic. Now, I got just a couple more things, and then I'll cut you loose. And thank you so much for giving us another shot, because this, it's awesome to get that opportunity. Always awesome to talk to you, though. So a little bit about you worked with Gene Simmons, right? Back in 1990 on the self-titled record. At that point, there wasn't, I guess, a whole lot of input from yourself in the songwriting and stuff. In retrospect, how do you feel about that now? Should you have included more songs, or was that kind of the direction that the label wanted to go to with? Because I don't think that was probably your doing. I'm guessing it was probably direction from the label and Simmons.
what when I grew up, I was a big Kiss fan. And to me, it was a big honor to even have Gene Simmons working with us, and that he wrote so many songs for this album. So I had I was in heaven. It was great. And I had enough songs, before on the Triumph and Agony album and Force Majeure album. And then the one after the Gene Simmons thing, that was True at Heart. So I wrote almost every song, maybe with another guitar player. But on that album, it was great to have so many great songs of Gene, and then doing the cover version of Only You, which is from the album. I loved it. So it was like, oh man, I loved all the songs. And Unholy Love, I loved so much. There was a demo Gene Simmons played for me, and it was at first called Terminal Love. And I love the song, and and I said, Gene, I would love to record it. And he said, okay, then I give you the song. And then I said, well, but Terminal Love, the T is so heavy, and I have anyhow like a strong German accent. And I said, can we change it? And he said, you know what? I called the guy who wrote the song, and we asked him if we can change it. And then he was on the phone, and the guy said, I don't know. And then I came up with this title, Unholy Love. And Gene said, hey, how about Unholy Love? And the guy said, okay, you will not get any songwriter credits, but you can, sing and call it Unholy Love. And I thought, oh, this is so great. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes, you have more input. Sometimes I wrote so many songs on each album. And on this album, it was, to me, a great honor to even work with Gene Simmons and to sing his songs. I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it. So
One of the cool things that was on there is like I mentioned, we're based in Oregon, near Portland, Oregon. So one of the songs that was on there was a Black and Blue song that Tommy Thayer wrote, Rock On, from the band Black and Blue. So it was cool to hear a different take on that song. And to see Thayer playing on it, which, as you know, now he went on to perform with Kiss, and now he's retired as well for a little bit anyway.
to go so bad the last show to Madison Square Garden, but we had to stay in Mexico. It was a big, it was called Life and Death Horror Fest, and then last minute it got postponed. So I couldn't go to the Madison Square Garden show, but I wanted to see it live. But I bought a ticket. I saw it online, and it was very sad, man, because last show and our whole life was like, yeah, with Kiss, and and going to shows. And my first time I saw, well, actually, it was not the first time, but the first time I could announce them, it was in 1988. And that was the first time we met. And then I thought, oh, I would love to do something with Kiss, or maybe, write a song, or maybe cover a Kiss song. And then I met Gene Simmons 1 year later, actually. My manager, he hooked it up, and Gene was so cool. And said, so what do you want to do with the next record and the sound? And he was really taking care of stuff and listening, and it was great. And then, yeah, and he introduced me to Tommy Sayre, and then we had a great time. It was like, what? It was one of a lifetime chance to work with Gene, and I learned a lot, and it was awesome. And especially that time, like in 89, 90, before grunge made it big, hey, we worked in the studio, but yes, hey, there was every day a party. All these rock stars, they came from Hollywood. Everybody was hanging out, drinking. I remember it was like, and I thought, oh man, I hope we can finish this album, because everybody had such a great time, and all these musicians, and just hanging out there and being, part of the family, of the scene. It was pretty cool. So it was really good. And Tommy was super. He was very, very, like you could totally trust him, and he was always there. And Gene was always there taking care of, like, the mixes and the songs, and it meant a lot to me. It was really, really cool. And yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much. So the record is Conquerors Forever, Strong and Proud. So we got that. I mean, it's a lengthy title, but it's well worth the lengthy title, because it's a great record, I think. Thank you so much, Doro. I hope to talk to you again soon.